If you guys have any interest in seeing your team get ghetto stomped by the Warriors next year, the best place to get your tickets to do so is SeatGeek app. SeatGeek app pulls tickets from all over the web and has them in one place, so buying is really easy, and it also assures you're going to be getting the best value for your ticket. While you're doing your search, each ticket is ranked with a score from 1 to 100 that lets you know if you're getting a good deal or not for your purchase, and on top of that, it gives you a detailed view of what you would see from your seat if you were actually there. If you're interested in downloading this app, the links are going to be in both the comment section and highlighted in the description. If you're still on the fence, consider using my promo code DOM2K to get $20 off your first purchase.
Do you all remember how like less than 24 hours ago I was saying how LeBron James signing in LA was, you know, it was different to see him in a Lakers jersey, but it didn't really surprise me because it's not such a good team, so there was nothing that special about it. Well, the Demarcus Cousins notification knocked me off my feet to the point that my brother, he was sitting next to me when I got the notification. He thought somebody died. As a matter of fact, he thought LeBron James died the way I reacted because I actually sunk in my chair. It wasn't for dramatic effect or anything, it's just the fact that this one blindsided me, man. Demarcus Cousins, a member of the Golden State Warriors, what, when, where, and how? This is one of those things that I'm gonna go ahead and put it on record. It's the strangest thing that's ever happened while I've been an NBA fan, so that's back since like 2003, so a good 15 years now. I've never been through anything stranger than this. LeBron went to play with Wade and Bosh. Yeah, you know, I was definitely surprised, but it was like it was on the table. LeBron went back to Cleveland, that was on the table as well. Kevin Durant went to the Warriors. I called that one from a mile away. I saw that one coming from the day he lost and the day Golden State lost. I saw that coming. But Cousins going to the Warriors, you know, the thing that's crazy about this is I was at my computer. I was waiting to get the notification that Cousins was signing with the Lakers. And get this, I didn't know how it was going to happen because of the salary cap. I was looking at the Lakers and the money they'd spent and what was left, and I was like, Cousins is not going to sign with LA now because he's damn near a max player. Even with the torn Achilles, he's going to get like what, $20-30 million, $25 million. The Lakers can't afford him anymore. That's what I was thinking, but I was like, Magic, he's the mastermind at this. He got LeBron, maybe he'll find a way. So the ESPN push notification comes up and it's cut off. It says DeMarcus Cousins signs with, and I couldn't see who. And I see he signs with the Warriors. This guy in his prime, who's supposedly the best center in the NBA right now, took $5 million to go play for the Warriors. And if you've been following me for the last 2 years, you pretty much know by now that I've kind of been indifferent to Kevin Durant's move. I've never been one of the people calling him a snake and, you know, insulting him every little chance I get and taking cheap shots about choking and all this stuff. I've never really gotten on that bandwagon. But when I seen Cousins sign with the Warriors, it incited, I understand the anger now. The anger that everyone in the NBA has at Kevin Durant, I fully understand it towards Cousins now. And it makes me angry because it's this whole culture of players just not wanting to compete anymore. You got a guy like Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson, as talented as these guys are. You know what, let me back up for a second, because it's an NBA's general manager's job to get as much talent as he can and make the team as good as he can and, you know, do whatever. But man, I'm just looking at it and the whole thing about Draymond Green calling Kevin Durant a couple of years ago when they lost, and all the best players playing on one team now. They have Team USA as their starting lineup. And the reason I'm really tripping tonight is because, look, when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors, I'm not going to say that I ever thought anybody could beat them, but it was still like, okay, Boston is creeping up there, right? You got Kyrie Irving, who's been like Steph Curry's kryptonite, and, you know, this team that plays very good defense and they're very well coached. I'm like, maybe they'll have a chance. But now I'm like, coming into this season, LeBron just went to the Lakers. What is there to talk about in the NBA now? What is there to analyze? And I get that some of you felt like that, have felt like that since Kevin Durant went to the Warriors, but this is different. This is on a whole nother level. I could have rationalized a free agency move that would have one day made somebody good enough to take down the Warriors. For instance, I thought that if LeBron could have finessed his way to Houston, maybe they had a chance. If Kawhi Leonard wasn't going through all this stuff with the Spurs, maybe LeBron going there could have done it. All these hypothetical moves, I was always thinking that there's something out there that can probably take down the Warriors. Hell, the Rockets almost did it. The Rockets took them to 7. So although I was like, they're the greatest team of all time and all this and how great they are, they're still, it can happen, right? It can happen one day. Now they have the best center, and The best center in the NBA just joined the greatest team of all time. And the reason this one is stinging is because I understand apparently something that a lot of NBA fans don't is that the NBA doesn't have the power to step in on something like this. I already made a video about this a couple of months ago because of course as soon as this happened, Chris Paul's Laker veto came up and people aren't understanding that that's two totally different situations because first of all that was a trade and second of all the NBA owned the Hornets back then so they had a say. But in free agency moves and what's going on right now, they can't just go vetoing things for the balance of power. That's not how it works. So the rule that's been in place that's kept this from happening, that's kept a Golden State team from happening, isn't a rule at all. It's really an unspoken rule. And it's this thing where, well, first of all, there's two things, right? There's supposed to be some sort of pride with superstar players. Some sort of pride, right? You can go play with your friends like LeBron did or, you know, play with a couple of superstars here and there, but there's supposed to be some sort of pride where you don't join the team that beat you. But the second thing is where you don't take a massive pay cut to go play for a team that's going to give you an easy ring. But the thing that's been really keeping this from happening is no superstar would ever do what Cousins just did. A superstar that can make $20 or $30 million in one season will never even think about taking $5 million for the season. And what makes me think about that is back in 2010 when LeBron was originally making his decision, one of the things that happened was there was chatter of a summit. So if you didn't know, back then 2010 was seen as the most talented free agency class of all time because there was like Dirk Nowitzki, LeBron James, Bosh, Wade, Amari Stoudemire, like every superstar in the NBA pretty much for some reason was a free agent that year. And David Stern came out and said, nah, there's not going to be a summit because there was rumors that, hey, what if all these guys just go play on one team? Now, there was no rule against them going to play for one team, but it was just the fact that they are trying to get their money. These are prime superstars. So that's why it's never happened, and that's why nobody ever thought it could happen, because even today with the Lakers, the number one question was, how is he going to go there and play for that little bit of money? He's not going to do that. Now, I'm not really looking at the effect that this has on today's NBA because the results are clear right now. The NBA was already in a state of no parity at all. We already knew the Warriors are light years ahead of everybody. You can already call the champion every year. So to say that the NBA wasn't already in a bad state, it was already there. So I'm not looking at what it does today, but I'm looking at this as in it's getting out of hand with free agents just doing whatever the hell they want. And I'm not saying that like they don't have a choice because they're grown men, they have a ton of money. Oh, and especially when you're a free agent, that means you can go sign wherever you please. No one has any control of that. But what I'm saying is, okay, it's what I talked about in these past videos, the evolution of players taking control of their own career. So when LeBron went to Miami, that was a wildly unpopular move. People thought he was taking the easy way out. He was going to play with an MVP type player in Dwayne Wade and an MVP candidate in Chris Bosh. People thought it was the easy way out, and people hadn't really seen something like that before, and it just happened and it did what it did. So then Kevin Durant fed off of that move and was like, okay, well, if he can go do that, then screw what anybody thinks. I'm going to go to the team I just lost to. So that was the evolution of LeBron's move. And now the evolution of Kevin Durant's move is taking way less money than you're worth to go play for a team in your prime, to go play for a team that's definitely going to win the championship. And do you see what I'm getting at right there? That little pattern that goes from LeBron to KD to Cousins, it's getting worse every time. Shortly before these moves happen, we always say, oh, that could never happen. Oh, KD couldn't go to the Warriors. There's no way that would happen. There's no way Cousins would take that little bit of money because Cousins just did what players do when they're out of their prime. Like David West, do you remember he was pretty good for the Pacers and then he went from the Spurs to the Warriors. He started taking way less than he was worth, but he wasn't a superstar player, so nobody cared, and he was getting a little bit older too. So this evolution is really ugly, and the only question is where it goes from here. Now, the only reason this is semi-understandable is because of Cousins' condition. Right now, he doesn't have a torn Achilles anymore. He's coming back from a torn Achilles, which means he's not going to return until, like December or January at best, because an Achilles is a 9-month injury. That's like best case scenario, which means probably around December he'll be back. And we have no clue how that's going to work. We have no clue if he's still going to be as good as he was. We have no clue coming in straight into the Warriors system how he's going to play, or what type of talent he has left, because players don't typically come back from this injury at the same level that they were at beforehand. That normally doesn't happen. In this case, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Demarcus Cousins plays a game this year because the Warriors were already so good that even if he comes back at 20, 30, 40% of what he used to be, That's still better than JaVale McGee. That's better than whoever plays center for the Warriors. Whoever slides into that slot. Demarcus Cousins from a torn Achilles is an upgrade. And they were already the greatest team of all time. So they just got an upgrade. And we don't know how big that upgrade is, but it has potential to be, oh man, I don't even want to imagine. This is fucking Team USA. So anyways, off of my rant about that, you know, Cousins being on the Golden State Warriors is just one of those things, like, maybe this is just how I feel tonight, but I feel totally uninterested in the NBA as it is right now. And I hate to feel that way because the NBA is more than just who wins the championship every year. It's the biggest thing, but it's more than that. It's fun to follow other players and see how players are progressing, and the MVP race, Rookie of the Year race, see how teams are gelling together. So I doubt that I'll stay uninterested, but a big part of basketball and what makes us interested is that competitive factor, and knowing that in the end something really amazing can happen and something really entertaining can happen. And when the biggest piece, like I said, the championship isn't the only thing that matters every single year. It's not the only thing we pay attention to. But when you already know without a doubt the result of that, and that nobody can touch that team, it really sucks the life out of everything else. It sucks the life out of watching other players develop. It sucks the life out of watching two amazing players like Westbrook and Harden battle for the MVP all year, because there's just this underlying tone of, yeah, these are great players, but it's the Warriors league and everybody else is just playing in it. I've never really had that type of feeling before. I grew up in the era where you didn't know who the finals was going to be every year. When it was the Heat and Mavericks, everybody didn't know that was the final result. It could have been the Pistons and Mavericks that year. You know, when it was the Lakers and Magic, could have easily turned out being somebody else. People were expecting the Cavs and Lakers that year. Could have been somebody else like the Spurs that year. You know, it's just hard to watch what basketball has become. Anyways, there goes my rant for Demarcus Cousins and the Warriors. I didn't really have like an analytical video for this because there's nothing to analyze. The Warriors were already better than everybody else, and they just signed the best center in basketball. So the one thing I will say is that a lot of people say they aren't going to watch basketball next year. We already know from the Kevin Durant experiment that's a lie. Everyone's going to watch it. I feel uninterested right now, but I know I'm still going to be watching next year. It's just, you know, it's just what I do every year. That's just what we do. So with that move, free agency, or at least all the interest anybody had in free agency, is probably over, because let's be honest, unless LeBron James right now renounces his signing with the Lakers and goes elsewhere, who cares who signs where? Nothing, literally nothing matters right now. No signings matter. So yeah, hit the like button, comment, and sub if you enjoyed, and hit the bell next to my name if you want to see notifications on the next video, which from now on, it's probably just going to be historical stuff. Who knows? Because what is there to talk about today? Who knows? Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.